Welcome back.
Welcome back, friends. Thank you for tuning in to the frequency.
The frequency.
Where we talk about different perspectives. And if you agree with them, awesome. And if you don't, tell us why. We're so glad you're tuning in with us today. And, hopefully we can close some old doors, open some new ones, thinking, get you running, not physically, but mentally. Mental's running.
Get you running my mind all day.
A while since we've been on the mics, but we've definitely been upgrades. A lot of things have changed, as you can see. Mostly talking about my hair.
Obviously.
Yeah, not
The
anything.
luscious locks have been coming in beautifully.
Thank you, sir. You're
I might say myself.
very much too kind. Thank you so much. Before we get started, I'd like to do a couple shout outs.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a couple people working on some projects, a couple friends, some people very close to us actually, one of which will be our roommate and friend as well, Carlos Quintero, working on a couple projects. He just dropped one recently called Groovy Tunes 2.
Under Pochongo on all streaming sites.
All streaming platforms. And he's about to drop another one, I believe Halloween or around Halloween.
I believe on Halloween Day is what I heard.
Believe so.
So you guys keep on the lookout for this man. He's got a lot of talent in his bag.
Super good. Honestly, of course we're going to say that, but he really, it's like, every time he comes out with something new or drops a new project, hear it, think, okay, I know it's going to be good, and just got this in your bag?
It's like,
Is this what you're coming with?
It's like you're surprised, but not because you don't think he's good. It's just like, wow, like I just had no idea you were this talented. Like I knew that you had this type of bag, but I didn't know how deep it went. And then whenever you tell him that, he just has like three more like even deeper bag like options that he's like, "Oh, really? So I've got you in the palm of my hand now. So let me toy with you a little bit."
He's Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins with the bag.
Mary Poppins with the bag.
You never know what you're going to get. That's what Forrest Gump said, though. Okay.
Oh my God,
Anyways,
that's not what Forrest Gump said.
He said life's like a box
There
of
you
chocolates.
go.
You never know what you're going to get. All right, another big one that is really good, too. They work on vlogs. A couple of friends of ours as well, Carson, Chan. They do a great job. Lerp TV. The vlogs are really good. It's always interesting. Always getting into some stuff, too. Trust me. They're consistent, too. Every week, they're always working on their videos, making sure they're getting stuff done. And they do stuff that I'm telling you, I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't put myself in those positions, but I give them credit.
They're definitely
do.
a brave bunch, but they're really an awesome group of people. It's like can't hold them for nothing. I just hope that they keep going because they've been steady so long, and it's just great to see. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. We also have Court Vision, which is fan favorite here, Joe Shui.
Hey man, what's going on? It's my personal project with my other roommate Chance Maynard, as well as our good dear friend Brad Woodard. And speaking of Brad Woodard, we'll get back to Court Vision, but Brad also is starting his own fitness company called the Clutch Factory, so you guys can go check that out as well. We'll put his Instagram in our bio. But Court Vision is basically our passion project because all of us are really passionate fans about basketball, and so we've been trying to cover what this pandemic has done to the basketball season, as well as like how basketball moguls and icons have had changes in like social justices and things like that. So it's really good. We really enjoy it, and if you guys enjoy all your basketball media, then come check us out.
Definitely keep. Thank you, Josh.
You're welcome,
Then,
Daniel.
And then lastly, we have Jared Reedy. He does streaming video games. If that's something you're interested in, he's definitely been very consistent with that and constantly. That's something I think you should definitely check out. Kudos to him.
Shout out Reeses. Keep it going, baby.
Also, something I couldn't do. I'd give him his props. Not something I'd be able to.
Well, you're not very into video games. You don't fuck with them that much.
Exactly. All right. Well, definitely check all those out. Everyone's doing a great job, man, and we all enjoy what we do. It makes it that much more. We love the projects. Kind of put our hearts in.
Just do what you love, man. You'll find passion in it somewhere.
Exactly. And before we really dive into this, I want to cover everything that's going on in the world just a little bit, kind of cover what's happening, brief overview. So let's see where we're at. We're in the U.S., so let's keep that there. So we're in midst a pandemic still.
Amidst
Amidst a pandemic still. Most things are still open, other than what maybe bars. Everything's still full functioning. You can't do big events, no concert,
right.
festivals.
I mean, some people are.
Oh yeah, people are still trying to make a profit off of that. Not saying it's a great idea,
Right.
but most people see it as we're post-COVID now, so
Right.
we're still amidst a pandemic, and we're still running, like basically having to get through that. On top of that, we have essentially a race war going on. People see it as color versus doesn't make sense why people the way they are, but
Right.
we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Going on, police brutality is still really
Very-
prevalent going on.
Very prevalent. Still got a lot of for the good reason, a lot of protests going on, and for bad reason, they're not being as, I guess, like paid attention to by the media. Media's trying to like divert the attention from that type shit.
And if they are putting any attention on it, it's riots and looting.
And for what? It's like, you understand there's peaceful protests going on still. It's so messed up that people are like, some, not everyone obviously, but some people are getting the idea that those protests are over, that's like in the past. It's like, dude, just stop. That's just you not wanting to do anything about what's going on.
Tough, living right now. Think about this. People with mental health problems already, and all of this going on, it doesn't help. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going through a lot of things. There's a lot of death happening too. And, a hurricane just hit Louisiana. Thankfully, it just barely missed us. We were supposed to get every portion of that.
Had people boarding up windows, and then all of a sudden they said, actually,
Gonna head east.
you're not going to see any rain at all, or barely any winds. It's like, wait, for real? But then you find out it's like, it doesn't mean that shit goes away. It just went somewhere else. It just prayers up to the people that are having to deal with Hurricane Laura. And
prayers out to Louisiana. They got hit. They've been hit just constantly. They can't catch them.
yeah, hope everybody's doing all right.
How to deal with Laura.
Stay safe out there.
Exactly. And it's just been a lot for like no one can catch a break. Everyone's going through something. This year's been, I think, really a testament who you are as a person and what you're going through.
It's been a year of like revelations, just like kind of like showing us like how many weak spots there are, not just in the country, but like in our society, like how we deem like life to be normal. There's so many spots that we don't like pay attention to.
Something we
And this year has been showing us all of those spots.
Every single one, and what we have to do to kind of move forward from there. And I think the biggest part is we have an idea of how to move forward, but we don't necessarily know how to execute the action in order to move forward. And we're so divisive right now if we really take the time to realize it's about coming together, but we're seeing it. It's because when we see hate from one side, it's hard to show compassion, because I've tried so long to show compassion. Now maybe this is the only way to really show what we need to do now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's for me. It's like people are being shown that like it doesn't just take compassion. It takes like, because you can show compassion for the people around you, but like if anything this year is showing us that like if you only care about the people around you, that doesn't make you care about people. You know what I mean? Like you have to go the extra mile, and if not everyone should go the extra mile to help their fellow man. And whenever you see people being divisive and like going the extra mile to hurt their fellow man instead of help, it's just like, well, you could have took that energy that all that hateful energy that you used to go hurt somebody. You could have helped somebody.
Say this, past couple of weeks alone, opened my eyes to so many things. I personally am a person who I try to go out of my way and help as many people as I can, or try to be there for as many people as I can. Of course, the people around me, closest to me, that's no question. I'm gonna be there no matter what. I'll let some things slide due to the fact that I know we stuff, but just out whenever I'm anywhere, even at work. I know that's a professional workplace, and a lot of people see it as I'm here to make money, here to be professional. The way I see it is we're all going through things. I don't care where I'm at.
Mhm.
I don't care if I'm at work, if I'm at the store and I strike up a conversation. It doesn't matter where I'm at. If I'm talking to you, I'm being genuine,
Right.
and I'm really trying to get to know you, not to use it against you. And I think that's hard for some people as well because you get to meet these people, and some people get to know you not to help you for an advantage.
Right. To be able to manipulate you.
Yeah, and I think it's tough sometimes, but I'm always putting myself on the line, no matter who it is. And I've learned that some people will say a lot of things and not mean them,
Mhm.
and it's tough sometimes, and that makes you want to take a step back and reserve yourself a little bit.
Right.
Maybe think, maybe I shouldn't be so caring. Maybe I shouldn't be. But I don't think that's the case.
So you can't do that because it's like that's you taking someone else's actions to like kind of like what's the word provide yours necessarily. It's like why are your actions based on others? If you know that you're doing what you want to do or being the person that you want to be, why are you acting in a reactionary form right now? This person's being a shitty person to you, so you're being a shitty person back. But wait, you didn't wake up this morning wanting to be a shitty person. So why are you being a shitty person? Just because of a reaction. You know what I mean? It's like people don't like think about it like that. It's like, oh, I'm justified because like this person did this to me. And it's like, yeah, I mean, on paper you're justified, but if you didn't want to experience like this whole shitty feeling that you're feeling right now, then maybe you're not justified. Maybe there is no justification. Maybe you shouldn't have just said fuck it. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like there's two sides to every coin. Obviously, there's different situations that'll like prove the rule to be an exception, but what I'm trying to say is that as long as you're doing your best to be the person you want to be, then other people shouldn't have necessarily an advantage on controlling that situation.
Say this: easy to be reaction
Really,
in everyday life.
really easy.
I mean, most people live reactionary, live reacting to whatever's around them. To be truly conscious of your and aware of your everyday life, and your things, to be truly conscious and aware of yourself is already that takes time. You got to understand yourself to a certain level, understand your feelings, which is a tough thing for a lot of people to really take the time to understand your feelings instead of pushing them to the side.
Hmm.
That already takes a lot for.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, trying to understand, be conscious of aware of the people around you,
Hmm.
that's already another task.
And it's like there's a famous quote, I don't remember who said it, but it's like true power lies in like restraint. It's like, of course, you can go do things like basically like anything that wills you, whether it's good or bad, you can go do it because you have the option to. True power lies in knowing maybe I shouldn't do that. Let me restrain myself from doing it. Like necessarily, like just for an extreme example, of course, you know me for always giving extreme examples, but for like examples, like if someone was to like hurt you, a piece like a person in your family, like obviously like the first reaction would be like fuck, like I'm angry, I'm sad, I don't know how to feel right now. Maybe I should hurt this person back or maybe make them feel the way I feel. But that's purely reactionary. You know what I mean? And like true power lies in restraint and forgiveness. You know what I mean?
It's really tough to do. I can see why some people don't go that route, but it really is to a point. Forgive. That's, and I always say that's true strength because anyone can lash out, anyone can be angry.
Really?
To really hold yourself back, to be vulnerable in situations like that, that's true strength. And for people who think it's weakness, that to me shows me that it's just it's more.
Shows me everything I need to know about that person.
And not even just that. It's like that shows me that it's true strength because everyone thinks like, I can't let that. It's okay. You know what? If you're comfortable with yourself and you really understand, you'll understand that you'll still be okay. If
Right.
there's certain situations, don't get me wrong, where you're gonna need to take action,
Correct.
but there's a lot of situations where you don't need to. And
Right.
what
And it's like it's kind of like you never really know what those situations are in the moment. It's like kind of asking someone to predict like the future, kind of like be ready for anything at all times. But whenever that something happens, you never really know what to do. You just kind of have to, you know, lie on your instincts and maybe try to be the best person you can be at all times. But for sure, it's like where I'm at is that like confrontation needs to happen in certain situations, but like you said, it doesn't always need to be you that has to be you the confronting or the be the confronter of maybe, but there is certain situations where that's a failing mindset. Like if you don't do anything, who will? You know what I mean? So it's like you have to like you have to be very like knowledgeable about what you're putting yourself into. And I'm not saying that everyone deserves everything that they get because they put themselves there. What I'm saying is that you just have to like do better on paying attention to where you're at, why you're there, what you're doing there, what who's around you, what these people want with you, what these do these people care about you, and just like understand your environment and having like a kind of a more of an awareness of what you're doing with
I think it can be tough for me sometimes, well, because I even if someone may not care for me necessarily the same way,
you. Mm-hmm.
it's not gonna stop me from care for that person because I want everyone to succeed. You know, I want to see
Right.
most people. I don't want, and especially if maybe you're not the best person, I want to see you become a better person. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I want to see people do well, and it's tough sometimes because I'm put in the position between maybe I should say something or maybe I should like let these people know, you know.
Right.
But then there's another part of me it's not necessary. These people I could tell there's certain people I could tell them about themselves all day long. It's not gonna really make a difference.
That's
Or
true.
I could tell them about themselves and it could make a complete difference. Really depends on the person and I guess you gotta know
Not just the person, but it's where that person's at in life.
it's tough. So there's a lot of decisions you have to make. Sometimes I'm stuck a lot in between. Should I continue to care or should I just let these people be? You know what I mean? Should I continue to show this love or should I just? Because it's always a tough thing. Altruism versus individualism is always such a tough uh, crossroad for me because at one point you got to worry about yourself, you got to worry about what's important to you, and that's absolutely true. You got to take time to yourself. But then there's also that point where I want to give to people. I want to make sure people are good because in my perspective, if we all kind of had that mindset, you know, the change of the world starts with you. But
Right.
if we all started having that mindset, I help you, help someone, they
Mm-hmm.
help someone, comes back, and it'll come back around.
Right.
And then it's not just me, 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 me. And I think a lot of people do whenever they get hurt, they retract into their own, right? And they become that same person they didn't know they're mad at.
Right.
That person hurt them, and then they're like, I can't believe that person. Why would they do that?
The
They
exact.
retract into their own head, and that become that very person that they're angry at. And it's always weird to me because I sit there and I try. I'm a person that's gonna, you know what I mean? And I always listen to people, and then I'm there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't. Oh, I'm not the person that's gonna tell you how to live your life, but I'm gonna be there to might make a.
Right.
And then where it's at is what you're explaining to me and about your situation.
Right.
You're now kind of acting that. You know, and for
Right.
me, I'm just here to try to be a helping hand.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I don't deserve that,
Right.
and it's weird to me because people kind of what they dislike. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they've been hurt, and they like it's easy to get caught up in your own.
For sure. And it's like it's kind of like the simple thing of like if you can't beat them, join them. You know, like mindset. You know what I mean? It's like why do you have to think like that? If you can't beat somebody, just stop competing. Because what are you competing for? You know what I mean? Like unless this is like unless you're fighting for your life necessarily like if this is a social construct conversation that somebody's like basically like somebody pisses you off in public, so wait, you go back, tell your friends, I can't believe they did this to me, they said this to me, well da 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 da, the next day like you said you catch this person doing the same thing to somebody else, and you're just like, well wait, what were you doing before that situation that this person like talked to you, like were you have you been disrespecting people your whole life? No? Well then like what changed? Because like something you changed. I haven't been seeing like I haven't like basically what I'm saying is like if you change because somebody disrespects you, you can't expect the world around you to be like, "Yeah, bro, I understand you got disrespected. You're good. Sorry you had to deal with that." Like if you're treating everybody like assholes, we're not going to be sympathetic for you getting treated like like some by like shit by an asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's to expect everyone to be on your. It's people, and that's man, that's really another. You expect everyone to kind of tend to you to an extent and want to
Mhm.
help you, and then it's whenever you end up being like the person who's doing it,
Mhm.
when they lash out back at you, you play the victim card,
I can't believe you guys would do this to me.
And I see that a lot too. Not necessarily that extreme, but in
Mhm.
more in a sense of where I'm there for somebody so much and they treat you a certain way, right? You step up and you tell them, hey, you tell them about themselves a little bit. And then
Mhm.
they come back and say, wow, you're so rude, or I can't believe you, like you're an asshole, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're just kind of, it sits there, you're thinking, you know how much I've had to listen to you,
Yeah.
but me, I do one thing. Now I'm in.
See, it's like I live by a motto that I was taught by at a young age because I was in the Boy Scouts, and that was do a good turn daily, basically. But then it's like you grow up and you hear other sayings like every good deed goes unpunished. And you're just like, well, fuck. You should do a good turn daily. You should do good deeds for people. You should be that person that goes the extra mile to help out someone else. And then when you understand, like, man, who the fuck is gonna help me, man? It's like I'm doing all this shit for everybody else, but every good deed goes unpunished. Ain't nobody looking out for me, bro. And it's just like that's also it's just like another failing mindset. It's you can't think that way because it's like, what are you gonna do? Never do a good deed ever again because you're scared of the punishment. Stop having expectations of getting good deeds to be rewarded. You know what I mean? And see where your life turns out.
I agree. That's why I continue to live like. And when I was saying the past two, really an eye opener.
Mhm.
It's not just in negative things where I realize that people say a lot of things, don't act on them.
Yeah.
But what I also realize is there's a lot of people that I've made connections with over time. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
don't necessarily talk to every day, but had those connections, kind of been there for each other in the moment. We may not talk anymore, but we come back together, and those same people are still there for me.
Mhm.
Those same people still look out for me. And some of those people are going through some certain things in their life, but they still maintain that same person they were. Still
Yeah.
got a good heart. They're still caring. They're still willing to help me out, even though we haven't talked in however long.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or even though they are going through whatever they're going through,
They're
there's
going out of their way to contact you and say, "Hey, man, how's it going?"
yeah. Or even just say if you need anything, or just hey, I want to let you know that like I have love for you, and you're a great person regardless of what anyone
Right.
thinks. You know what I mean? Or just like little things. It's not doesn't have to be big. Like I'm not a person where you have to go out buy me things or you have to show me. I'm not that. It's the little things. Just like if you show you care.
Right.
Because it's especially if I don't talk to you every day.
Right.
And then there's on the other hand, like I said, the people who would say, "Oh, I love you. I got love for you. Awesome."
It's just talk.
And then where okay, you say all that, but where you at and then I understand you're going through things, but where I'm also at, everyone handles situations different, but this person's also going through a lot, and they shouldn't even have to check up on me. They should.
Right.
I don't even expect it.
Where I'm at is like it's like you don't feel comfortable like making comparisons between other people because everybody got different shit going on. But at the same time, it's like, what do you want me to do whenever this person that basically has no reason to do all of this shit for me and they give a fuck about my mental health, but you, who I've been in the trenches with, how I've gone to war with type shit, you show me little to no respect every time I see you, and that's rare. You know what I mean? I don't get calls. You don't send letters. Just no communication. It's nothing. Are we part of each other's lives? Because you say that L word like we are. You know what I mean? And that's where that's wherever it falls to the floor for me because it's like people don't respect themselves anymore. Like like what part of being inconsiderate to anyone else makes you think that you're gonna get respect from any of those people? Like it's so backwards thinking.
Or just selfish. Not worried
The
about
less
that.
people I give a fuck about, the more people like the more shit people will do for me. Like, what are you talking about? How the fuck does that work out in your head?
Like I said,
It's selfish ass thinking, bro, and it's pisses me off sometimes because you see some people like we know that get taken advantage of type shit like on the regular because they're gonna continue being a good person, like we said. Like there's people that could get real reactionary real quick and step outside themselves, but instead of doing that, they're just themselves. They're just a good person. And they get taken advantage of the most, and that's so horrible. Because it's like, why do you have to do that? You know, this person's not bothering nobody, not even you, but you know, you got to go step into this person's life and try to change them. Why? Why?
It's,
You don't have to do that.
those situations, people are kind-hearted, good-hearted people, and these are a lot of these people too. They've been through a lot in their life. They've gone through some struggles. They're still amazing people.
No one's willing to ask them
And then
on their opinion because they're too busy taking care of everybody.
those other people who take advantage or try to change them are just terrible people to those people. And that's what always puts me at that another crossroad where I always hear we all got the same 24 hours.
Right?
But also being the person I am, I try to be understanding. Everyone goes through different life. Not
Yeah.
everyone taught the same things. Not everyone gets the same understanding out of lessons, realizes things at the same pace, and everyone grows differently.
Right.
But it's hard sometimes. The
It's like
truth is, we do all have the same 24 hours.
it's the battle between making excuses for people and understanding that no one's making excuses for you. That's the battle that you live in, and it's just like I want to make excuses for you. I want to say you grew up in this neighborhood, or you didn't have one of your parents, or you didn't have the same education, or you experienced a death at a young age, or this, or whatever it is. I want your trauma to mean something in this conversation, but I know you're not taking my trauma to mean nothing in this conversation, especially if you don't got no love for me. And I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying like obviously certain people. And it's just like you can't make excuses for everybody because you have that understanding that everybody not making excuses for you, and that's a cruel position to take. But it's like, what else are you gonna do?
I've
Get
said this
manipulated
uh, uh,
time and time again, and it's fucking horrible.
terrible. I mean, we've had this conversation before. I
Yeah,
personally believe compassion is a lost art, and
for sure.
love and compassion are the way that it's seen is so
Consideration,
twisted, and it's seen in such a weird way now. It's gotten to a point where people basically say if you don't get a cold heart or if you don't do this, you walk all over. I feel like it should shift
right?
rather than say you don't do it this way. People are gonna. How about this? If we all tried to be better people, then we wouldn't have to worry about that. Instead, we have this ass backwards. Let's go the other way,
It's like, but that's
and then
like
we're like,
that's whenever you say, "What if we all try to be better people?" It's like people are quick to be like, "Oh, so you just expect everybody to change?" It's like, why not? Why the fuck not? Why? I'm not asking you to fucking like change your identity, your first name, where you live, what you do. I'm not trying to change any part of your life other than whether or not you're a piece of shit or someone who actually gives a fuck about other people. And it's like there's no in between. There's no in between. If you give a fuck about others, you show it. And I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you that if you don't show it, and you're just all talk, and that just makes you a talkative piece of shit.
uh-huh. That being said, all of that, and then people are still like, I'm so surprised the world's in the state that it's in.
Yeah, it's like, what are you surprised about? Have you been paying attention?
We all own, like, you want to be compassionate. Everyone wants to be compassionate.
Right,
But when it comes down to everyday life, it's not just, I want to be compassionate because there's terrible things going on in the world, which you should be, because there's a lot of terrible things going on right now. And if you aren't compassionate or you don't even feel something with all the things going on in the world, you are probably a terrible person. I will say, probably are a really, really bad person, because if you don't even feel something for the things that are going on right now, that shows a lot about your character.
right,
But
and
also where I'm at is, I mean, I understand showing compassion for those things because it's easier to show compassion because it's so heart wrenching.
right,
But where I'm at is you have to take that and you have to apply it to the smaller things in your life to see that bigger change. It's every day. It's every conversation. It shouldn't matter where you're at.
right.
If you're at work, of course, you should be professional and you should mean business. But that doesn't mean that you have to be a terrible person to get where you're at. And I think there's this
You
mindset.
don't have to step on heads to get to the top. Why
And there's a
can't you?
mindset.
Like just fucking. I don't understand, bro. It's like where I'm at is that like people have decided that fuck taking other people's mindset and livelihoods into consideration because like what I mean is like if you take other people's problems to be more important than yours, then basically you could make excuses for people and they could take advantage of that. manipulate you. But also, if you give people like if you take people's lives into consideration, that doesn't mean you have to make excuses for them. Be a considerate person, understand where people are at, help when you can, but understand people can only be helped when they want to be helped. That doesn't shouldn't stop you from helping people. It should stop you from helping certain people because you understand that those people don't want your help. But it's like it's really easy to get discouraged in something like that because it's like whenever you take a time out of your life to be considerate for people and then understand, fuck, ain't nobody, like I said, ain't nobody being considerate for me. Ain't nobody like taking the time out of their life to like see what I'm up with, if I'm good, how I'm doing, where I'm at, what's going on. It's like, but I'm over here making 30 calls a day to 30 different people, make sure that all their families are good and shit like that. So it's like you got people like that, and it's just like it's just it can get discouraging, but you want to like kind of tell people like that. You're inspiring. You're inspiring, and you should be the rule. All of us should be the exceptions. That should be the rule. Because it's like I'm not saying that you deserve to not be considered. What I'm saying is the fact that you wake up every day knowing that you're not being considered and you still going out your way to do all this shit for people. Fuck yeah, I want you in my life. I want you in my life, and I want to send you a Christmas card every year with me and my dog's face on it. Like, ha. Dude, it's like I want good people in my life. I don't want pieces of shit in my life. That's where I'm.
No one, most people don't, but then they don't take the steps to be that the exception. And what it is like it shouldn't be an exception. For all the
Right.
exception, it should be the rule.
That's what I'm saying.
But also, I think it starts from a young age if you really think about it. Like
Yeah.
emotional intelligence, not prioritized.
What's I mean, even intellectual. I mean, even IQ is not even really.
Not anymore.
Even when back then, it's like our education system's been fucked from the go. So I mean, it's been more prevalent. But yeah, you're right. Like emotional intelligence has been completely like disenfranchised.
People value logic over emotional intelligence so much, but what you don't realize is emotional intelligence with logical
With
intelligence
logical,
is
yeah.
definitely gonna. When you combine those two, that creates, in my opinion, a very intellectual person. Emotional intelligence plays a big part, I think, in intelligence in general because emotional intelligence isn't just know knowing your emotions. It's knowing yourself so well and then knowing the others around you so well. It goes back to us saying, conscious of your own, like, and aware of yourself as well as other people. And then
Right.
with that, you become better with people, and then that helps you learn a lot more. You're more
Not
willing to learn and more willing to understand the things around
it's
you.
not just the ability to understand your emotions and like how you feel and why you feel, but it's also applying that knowledge to help others or in not help others, but also inform others on their own emotional intelligence and how important that is.
And when you look at it, it's so when you think of IQ, what are you
Hmm.
doing? You're basically like
Studying,
yeah, it's like
fucking
cognitive function. You know what I mean?
right,
Basically, like how you piece things together and how your brain works logically.
right,
And then when you look at EQ, like most people think of it, why that's not that important, but it's like how well are you with people? That's basically what that's saying.
right.
How good are you with people? And everyone thinks. And this was funny because I was talking to someone the other day. They take psychology class. You ask someone, "Do you think you're a good person?" Most people are, "Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm a good person." All right, what's the last good thing you did? When's the last time you helped somebody?
Right,
Truthfully, not just someone like close to you, like my mom.
right. Just like some random
Like, when's the
person
last
or
time you
like
tried to do something?
what's the last time you went outside of your way to do something?
Last time you asked someone how they were doing and meant it,
Right.
not just,
Like,
"Hey,
how
how
are
are you?"
you? Really?
Exactly. So many people baffles me. So many people want to think they're, and it's easy to think you're a good person because I don't really do anything bad. Yeah, you don't really do anything good either. You know what I mean? You're
Right.
a different. You're not necessarily a bad person. Doesn't mean you're a good person. Let's get that straight.
Right. I feel like honestly, like being a good person is necessarily like it's not like a destination. It's just really like a road. It's like it's it's like a road without a destination. Really, the destination is dying. Kind of like being a good person. It's like a road you should never want to get off of. And if you do get off, you can't say, "Look how far I went." You know what I mean? It's like a road that you should continue driving down the rest of your life because it's like I mean I'm that's a bad example. But what I'm saying is whenever you do stop and you do get off, you do stop the car. basically you can't, like I said, you can't get out the car and be like, look, I've been a good person for this long now, this and this and this and this. You expect rewards, you expect what, like, people to be a good person to you, you expect all this shit, and it's just like, well, you shouldn't have gotten the car in the first place. If this was your expectation, if this is what you wanted out of this, why did you even get in the car?
Didn't promise you any of. I didn't
Nobody
promise you any of
promised
that.
you any of that. But it doesn't mean the road wasn't worth driving. You know what I mean?
So yeah, 100. And personally, in my opinion, I think people look at emotional intelligence for you, intelligence quotient. It would be more so that people associate emotions with being feminine. I think people think being logical is more. My personal opinion. I know it's a weird thought, but where I'm at, you got of being more emotional, right?
Mm-hmm.
More nurturing, more just like being able to kind of being more in touch with your feelings. What do you think? You know, most people think that that's great for women.
I mean, I guess yes, for sure. Women are like, in my opinion, at least. I don't know the science, but like for sure more empathetic than a lot of men that I know. But like, I do know a lot of men that are also empathetic, and I wouldn't say that they're. Wait, where are you going with this?
So feminine energy just means more so that it's like it doesn't mean you're feminine. It's more so like that's a woman energy, like Mother Earth, like more of a feminine energy.
Okay.
Masculine energy is just more of a the way that we see it by society is just more of a dominant, more of just like you know you're taking action, you're going
Mm-hmm.
for it type of energy.
So wait, so what about masculine and feminine energy has to do with logical and empathetic
But when you
quotients?
come to logical, it's more to say I'm taking action. You know, I'm puzzling, piecing things together. It's more business oriented way of thinking. You know, when you're going into business, I'm handling business now. I'm taking care, able to break these things down and make something happen.
Okay.
But then when you're thinking more so of emotional intelligence, you're thinking more so of you know feelings. How can I understand this person a little bit better? How can I nurture this person a little bit better? You know, kind of
Right.
more in touch with your inner self. And
Okay.
like you said, you know, you kind of women are seen to be naturally more empathetic. And then from a young, this is just for a second, from a young age, I was having this conversation with one of my friends the other day because he was telling me, you know, he's kind of come to terms with his inner self a little bit more because how he was raised and how he's had to deal with his feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had a lot of anger, learning to deal with it now because from a young age, I'm not saying this for everyone, but I think a lot of young men, a lot of boys when they're younger, the way that you're kind of dealt it, don't cry, get over your
Right.
feelings, toughen up, like
Right.
just tough, like suck it up and move on. You know what I mean? You're not really taught how to
Handle or
properly handle your
properly.
emotions,
Right.
and that leads to a lot of angry older men and a lot of men that don't know how to handle their feelings. So then that's also, oh, you're crying, or oh, you're soft. It's like I'm not soft. I just don't care to be Mr. Tough Guy. You know what I mean?
So like,
Everyone,
like basically saying you could be the most logical person in the world, but if you still treat people like shit, like what do you really know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think where the term people love to use this toxic masculinity. I hate it because it's just become at this point just a thing that I feel like a lot. Don't get me wrong. I think it exists.
I mean, it
I just
for
think
sure exists, but it's just like it's one of those things that it's just like it's become like a whenever you see toxic masculinity, you're like, yeah, that looks like toxic masculinity, but also it's like that dude really like this guy. Like I feel like sometimes I'll see it just be used for like a hashtag almost like just to get more people to see like just to see the post, and that's not fair because like I said, it does exist for in a lot of like especially like in workplaces and things like that. But like where I'm at is like whenever you see some post on that on Twitter, you're like toxic masculinity, you see nothing wrong in the video, like, and you show it to a whole room of people, you're like, am I tripping? And everybody's just like, nah, this is just a troll on Twitter. And it's like, oh, okay, bet. So like that exists too. So like it's so fucking horrible whenever there's actually a tragedy going on and then people saturate the internet with trolls and like fucked up shit, and then that like topic gets like drowned out. You know what I mean? Because
that's
of
a
that.
lot of topics.
And that's fucked up. And that's it is fucked up because it's like people in the moment like, oh, it was just a joke. What are you talking about? But it's just like think about how many thousands and millions of people are just joking. Who's
Like
taking shit seriously?
like that boy
Who's taking anything seriously?
when people were like Breonna justice for Breonna Taylor. It was used so much at some point. People were like People basically memed it, and it's still prevalent.
It's
Like
it's still prevalent for sure in the protest, but
a lot of people, you did almost when you use it so much, it's terrible because you want it to the attention to be there, but it almost takes away from it in a sense and
right.
desensitizes you from it because you're so used to seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've seen this. I
Right.
mean, and
And
it's
that's also horrible. It's like even with like the George Floyd stuff. It's like think about like that 8 minute and 46 second video. It's like think about how many times you watched it. You know what I mean? Probably like once or twice because it was all you could bear. Like what the fuck? I'm literally watching a person get killed on camera right now. I can't watch this. But like it's on your timeline every single like day, and not just every day, but like hundreds of times a day. Like how many times did you actually watch it? Once or twice, but you saw it like 150,000 times
exactly.
in a matter of 7 to 8 days. You know what I mean? It's fucked up because you want these things to have change, but you understand that most of the people that are talking on the internet are just talking,
Yeah, they're
and
just saying
it's hateful because it's like if you want change, you have to demand it. You can't just say something on the internet in troll form and expect something to happen. And then you also can't expect like, well, what the fuck? I did my part. Like for me, it was like I understand the solidarity of the black square that they did for Instagram, but I don't understand if you're gonna delete it 2 days later. You have like a big Instagram brand and you post like the black square for solidarity. Well, where to go? What? Oh no, it's not there. Where I saw it whenever she posted it, but it's not there. I don't like what was the point? If you were just gonna delete the post a couple days later. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what are you really standing for?
about.
And attention,
But
really.
okay, where I was at is toxic masculinity is in this of what it is when you're a young age and like not for no one teaching you how to show your feelings right.
Mm-hmm.
At a point, you don't really know how to express yourself or properly understand someone expressing themselves because you're taught suck it up, keep pushing, keep going. Then some people they just bottle. They don't know how to express themselves. So
Right.
what do? They get angry,
Yeah.
or maybe they just retreat into themselves because they don't know how to say what they want to feel. And then that also I think plays a lot. This is where I was really gonna make the point of when people use toxic masculinity word a lot is whenever you see other people maybe dress a little bit different, or you
Mm.
see people maybe things that's more feminine, maybe someone who is a little bit more expressive, someone who is a little bit more understanding and in touch with their feelings. That's gay or that's not manly. Or, you're not. It's this whole Mr. Tough guy. I gotta be the
Defining people's like lives for them just from like your own inner type bullshit.
it's
You know what I
something
mean?
that you never. You know what I mean? You felt like this is how you were raised or taught
Right.
to deal with your feelings. This is how you raised or taught how to live your life. So now you're projecting those feelings
Right.
onto someone else because they're more in touch and they understand things. That's where I'm saying is emotional intelligence. I think people know it's important, but they don't really understand the.
Yeah, I feel like people don't really even know what it is, that it exists, that it's a thing. I mean, people do, of course. I'm generalizing, but what I'm saying is like for the majority of the population, I bet that like if you ask them, "Hey, what does EQ mean?" and then what does those two words actually mean? Like what is emotional quotient? What is that? Like they say emotional quotient. What does that mean? How many
Is
people can give you the definition or actually apply it to what they've done in their life? It's way more rare than whenever you ask, "Hey, what's your IQ?" Most people have like just as a joke probably done an IQ test online type shit. You don't know if that's really true, like your IQ until you actually go do an IQ test. But what I'm saying is people have been taught what an IQ is, what that has some level of importance in your standing in college or ranking in high school or whatever type shit. Your ability to perform in a classroom type, like IQ is important, or ability to perform in a work environment type shit. It is important, but how much have you heard of the importance of EQ in your life? I personally haven't heard anything. None. I've had to do like my own studies or be taught by like my parents type shit. And that's like lucky.
exactly
Thank you, mom.
right.
Thank you so much. But like,
They actually care around you, make it something to work.
luckily, I was like luckily enough to have like a great support group, not just growing up, but also in my friends as well. It's like I've my emotions have been brought to the forefront of my like brain, not if not by me, then by the people that. I'm blessed for that type shit.
I agree. I mean, a lot of people don't also have that support system, have an
Definitely not.
outlet to go to,
Right.
which also is a point I want to make. Is if you feel like you need to go to therapy, it should not be something that is shamed on. You should not feel as though that you're crazy or feel as though that you're not
There's no
worthy of whatever it may be, love or anything. Therapy,
there's no
if
negative connotation to
there should
therapy.
never be a negative connotation. You feel as though you need someone to talk to because not everyone has a support. And even if you do, maybe you do need someone else, just to get everything off
An
your chest.
impartial view of some of your life, basically.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's okay to go seek therapy. And I understand some people don't because it's not cheap to do therapy either.
And you also, it's like you might not find the right therapist the first or second or even third time. You have to, it takes some getting used to be able to talk to someone new and get to like their opinion on what you're going through and where they see like issues and your faults. And it's really difficult to find the right person that can actually like understand you, know how to talk to you personally, because everyone's different. Everyone's going through different shit. Everyone's got a different view on the shit that they're going through, even if the shit isn't that different from one another. The uniqueness lies in the person, not in the action. And so where I lie on that is that therapy should never have a negative connotation, because like if unless you do have a great support system that you're willing to talk to, what are you holding out for? Who are you holding out for? What are you proving to who that you can get through it on your own? And it's like, I mean, if you do get through it on your own, because some people do, then like all the power to you. But it wasn't necessary to do it on your own. It was never necessary for that.
You might figure out something. Hopefully, you do figure out something about yourself or the people around you. I mean, in a sense, maybe you'll learn how to properly express yourself, and maybe you'll learn that maybe the way other people are expressing themselves isn't necessarily the best way. How you're perceiving it or understanding it may be a little different. Everyone's different. You have to understand yourself first, also.
Correct.
It's a whole thing. So I mean, never be afraid to
And
talk to people.
it can be one of the most difficult things in the world to understand yourself. But at the same time, that doesn't like we said before, everything difficult is worth having, and everything worth having not gonna come easy.
And okay, and I want to lead into this. When it comes to understanding yourself and the people around you, I think right now, especially, we're all kind of on this me type of thing, because the world's becoming this terrible place, which it's been, I think, pretty bad for a while. Once again, everything's just kind of coming out, and coming to the light for a minute.
For good reason.
And I think it's
Well,
more
not
than
great reason. But
more than
good reason.
separating ourselves from each other, we should come together a lot more. Compassion in these times is very important. Being there for each other is very important because a lot of us are going through things. Don't think that you're the only one having to go through something. So if you need to talk to somebody, please reach out. More importantly, if you need someone to reach out to, please reach out to us. You can contact us on any of our social medias. I'd be more than willing to listen to anything you have to say. If you have something to get off your chest, please feel free to do so, because we need to come together now more than ever. And once again, if you can see the things that are happening in this world and not feel anything, or if you can see someone get shot or see someone die and say they deserved it, you need to take a look at your own life, because what if that was you? What if that's your brother? What if that's your sister? I mean, it shouldn't even have to come to me saying that. Just taking someone's life should never be necessarily justified. There are certain instances where it may be justified, but that's still not a point where you're like, they deserved it. No one deserves to die.
Silence often speaks volumes. When you understand that things are happening in a place that you call home that you would never want to happen in the comfort of your own home, you can't be impartial. There is no silence. If you're silent, you're allowing that to happen to you. And if you understand that it would never happen to you, then that's even worse.
That's where it's all fun and games until it happens to you.
It's all fun and games until it's inside your household. Until you're dealing with someone who had to deal, like, until you're dealing with a cop that shot your son, or until you're dealing with a home invasion by people, like, by police officers. Thought that you could, like, just Be in the comfort of your own home. They kicked door, and you thought you could live through that.
This point is more than a race. They're making it a race issue because then get away. It's easier to get away
It's
with stuff.
easier to dismiss as a race issue. It's easier to say, no, it's because of this. And it's like, well, if it's happening, it's happening. Stop saying this or that or that or this. Make changes, please. How many people have to get shot, or how many people have to die? How many people have to lose their lives before something happens?
17-year-old kid who shot. How many people was it? 7?
Yeah, for sure.
7. I'm not sure how many people died, but regardless,
Talking about at the protest?
he killed a couple people. Some people, oh, he was getting attacked. First of all, where I'm at is you went. I'm not saying it's right to get attacked. I'm not saying it was right to shoot anybody. Where I'm at is if you are a 17-year-old child, you're already legally owning a firearm, right or wrong. There's no justifying that. If you try to justify that, come on now. Now you're just really making excuses. Now we're past that, right? You
Right.
went out of state lines to go somewhere. You're at a place where people are already have their emotions at the forefront
Mm-hmm.
of what they're doing. You have a rifle on your back. You're not even official. You're a 17-year-old child. Militia, that's a word for what? You're wrong. Like, you're illegally doing whatever. You're protecting what?
Where I
You're
stand,
not protecting your own. Like, you're
where I,
at
s-
all accounts.
where I stand is whoever's saying like he's being attacked. I'm like, okay, so he had shot one of your family members. Would you be saying what you're saying? No, right? It has nothing to do with you. Has nothing to do with you whatsoever. You get to say this. You get to be partial in this because you don't have a stake in it. But maybe if you did, look, where I'm at is like even those kids' parents probably not like, oh yeah, he's good. They probably like, fuck, we fucked up. We have shit the bed on this parenting thing. Our kid just killed how many people? Where I stand is if you commit murder, you forfeit the rights to your own life. I mean, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. It's like what do you want? Whenever someone goes out in the street and says, "Hey, you know what? My beliefs are more important than your life." That person is just supposed to continue like being out free, being treated like a upstanding citizen. Like what? Like that shit was crazy. I saw a news report. It was like the difference between a 17-year-old murderer and a 17-year-old victim. And it was one picture on the left, and it was that kid that just killed shot like 7 people and killed however many. Basically, they had a picture of him like painting some like graffiti,
I saw that.
and there was like 17-year-old whatever his name was seen painting in Kenosha before the protest or like during the protest or whatever. And on the right it said 17-year-old murder victim Trayvon Martin found with traces of marijuana in his system.
Yeah.
Autopsy says. It's like, I'm sorry, he got murdered and you're worried about whether or not there was traces of marijuana in his system. But the murderer over here, where's his mugshot? Where is his mugshot? You have a picture of him being an upstanding citizen.
Right. I'm not saying it's not a race issue because definitely.
It's an issue with for sure. It's for sure a
Systemically,
race issue, but
systemically, for
it's
sure.
also it's like an issue with the media too. It's like what they're being allowed to show, what they're showing, and why they're showing it type shit. It's just difficult for me to fucking. It's hard to talk about because it's just so fucking corrupt.
It is because don't get me wrong. Systemically, it is a race issue. They're doing it up. Where I was going is, it's easier to make what they're doing a race issue in terms of oppression
Mm-hmm.
on everybody at this point. You know, seeing what they can get away with, in my opinion,
Yeah.
and because at first, you know what I mean. When you make it a race thing, then there's a lot of other people. Oh, it's not me doing it mostly to that rate. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry. Like, it's like if you're not standing with humanity at that point, you know what I mean? Regardless of the color, you're basically saying, oh, we can get away with it for them now.
Right.
With them for now. Like, we're doing all this. We're kidnapping people. We're murdering people on the streets.
Kids in cages still.
Kids in cages. oh, it's just those, and then what happens when it's you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's a race thing now, in my opinion, but then it's a humanity
There's
thing.
still too many people out here
And
saying that's none of my business.
exactly.
Way too many
It's
people.
happening all over the world. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's easy to say, oh, it's just that third world country. Oh, hey, it's just that race over there, or that's their problem. That's their problem. It's all of our problems. We're all human. Because at what point when our rights are beginning to be stripped from us, you know what I mean? And we're just like, it's not my problem.
Where
I'm not willing to help.
where I'm at is there's two ways to ask the question of what can I do to help. There's one way to say ask yourself like what can I do to help sincerely. There's also the way of complaining like seriously, what can I do to help? What do you expect me to do? Type shit. And it's like those are two different mindsets. And you can see it in people type shit. You see it like what could I really do to help this situation? Or like what do you expect me to do? Come on, really? So, like you see how big this problem is. What am I supposed to do? Or it's a big problem. What can I do? You know what I mean? There's two completely different mindsets, and like it's it's difficult to see the first type of person that's like that immediately shuts down whenever they see like an overwhelming issue. Says like, oh well, obviously I can't do anything, so let me just be silent. Let me shut up, stay home, sit on the couch, and just pay attention to what everybody else is doing. This such a failing mindset.
And not everyone's gonna be able.
Right.
Not everyone's gonna have the same way to help
But
or
that's perfect though because not everyone has the same role. You're not
exactly.
supposed to.
Like I said, it goes back to just even the littlest things. If you don't know where to start with yourself.
Right.
Start trying to understand the people around you. Start being more open to listen. Start being more open to taking into account your neighbors. You know what I mean? Your community, like what's going on over there. I'm not saying be in their business. That's not what I'm saying. Definitely mind your own business first. Like, everyone is going through something different, and how people handle things isn't always your stake. You know what I mean? You to like take a part of. But you should also try to understand where they're coming from and try to talk with them.
Mm-hmm.
And you should try to understand yourself
Right.
a little bit more. Be a little bit more compassionate in your everyday life. It's the little things, I promise you. And from there, what can I do? Maybe get into politics if that's what you want to do. Maybe donate some money. Maybe if you have the money, start a foundation. Or you know what? Go over there if you able to figure out what your limits are and go help where you can. There's a lot of foundations right now where you can go overseas if you really want to. You can help. You can get involved in just your community right now. Get to know your neighbor a little bit better because maybe you're making an about them and you don't know them.
Right. And it's like you. That's another part of being inconsiderate. It's like whenever you don't really know someone's situation, but saying like, "Nah, they'll be all right without me." Like, I mean, okay. I mean, you could have asked maybe. Reach out a helping hand. It doesn't always need to be connected. Not everyone's gonna reach back. Doesn't stop you from reaching it.
Exactly. And maybe someone's acting a little bit different today. They're a little bit rude, uncanny. Maybe they're going through a lot. Maybe they just need someone. Hey, how are you? Really?
Really? Yeah.
You know, not just on some. Hey, you good? Like, are you okay? Like, I'm really asking.
Are
I
you gonna
really
be
want to know.
okay?
Like, are you?
Like, yeah. Are
I'll
you?
be there. I'm there if you need anything. Like, you don't even have. They don't even have to tell you that. You could just be like, hey, I get it. If you ever need to talk to, I'm here. I got you.
And some people just blow it off like, yeah, all right, and just walk away. Some people will be like, you know what? Like, thank you. It's you can't expect anything, but that doesn't stop you from being compassionate about your fellow man. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's extremely easy to say, nah, I'm good. I'm not gonna go having a rough time. I'm not gonna like enter myself into that situation. I'm not gonna jump into any business that's not mine. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just stay put. I'm just mind mine. It's real easy to, but it's difficult to give a fuck about other people, especially when you don't know them, especially when you're not gonna see them ever again, especially when maybe you only work with them like 4 or 5 hours a day, and you know the conversation's never gonna get to that point, but you still see them having a bad day. That doesn't mean you just walk away from them. You know what I mean, it's like there's different levels to this shit. Of course, not everyone's gonna trust you with their business, but it shouldn't
A
stop
lot of
you.
this comes from when we hear the word love, don't really understand. You think love, I think most people think a lot of ways, or a lot of people don't even like using the word love. I say I love you a lot to the
Mm-hmm.
people around and close to me. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people don't understand there's different types of love.
Yep.
Like, especially when they think about love, people think, oh, hippies, 60s, oh, it's on some hippie okay, because like,
Like peace, love, and tranquility and shit
yeah,
like
like
that.
like it's some foreign concept. Like, it's the most impossible thing. Like that, it doesn't exist and it shouldn't. Like when you hear that, love, in my opinion, is deeper than what people. There's different types of love. It's weird, in most languages, there's different words for different types of love. English language, there's only one to express
That just goes
love.
to show how fucked up the English language actually is.
Because like there's your love for per se. Like I have a general love for life. You know what I mean? A
Right.
general love for humans, for the
Right.
human beings. Like, I want to see everyone be okay and succeed. I want to.
But you have a different type of love for your mother and your family,
Yeah.
and a different type of love for your friends, and a different type of love for your fellow companions and things like that, and also a
Significant
different
other.
type of love for romantic, like
Yeah.
companions. Correct. Yeah.
It's a deeper love, and it's a feel. You know what I mean?
Different type of love for like your dog or your pet. You know what I mean? It's like there's different facets of love. It's just as difficult to guess. You have to have a certain level of like I guess like we were talking about earlier, like emotional quotient, like knowing yourself, knowing what you want, knowing who you are, and knowing how to help others and understand issues inside of them, inside of yourself, and help them understand the same things. It's like that can help you understand the loves that you're experiencing, or if you're experiencing love at all.
Love at its pure form is just it's selfish and selfless. Since it's beyond yourself, you know what I mean? It's a feeling of it's a multiple. Love is like a combination of gratefulness, being thankful, hoping the best for somebody, caring for somebody more, like to a point to where you want them to help that person. You'll lend a helping hand without them having to ask,
Right.
And that's in any facet of life. Love is something deep. It's not just like I love you. That's gay. Like it doesn't have to. It's not okay. Or I love you. What are you trying to say? Care about you a lot. Like I'm there for you if you ever need anything. It's a deeper thing than just
Right.
I like you.
Right.
Which I mean, once again, my opinion, it's weird because I said this to somebody and I don't get it. I can love somebody and not like.
Right.
I can love you and not like you.
Right.
Like I can have love for you. Like I want the best for you and I want to see you succeed, but I don't like you.
Yeah.
I'm not like I don't want like I necessarily don't want you in my life per se because I know it's not gonna be.
But I still want the best for you.
I still want the best for you. Like I have love for you. And I want you to succeed and I want you to prosper. I want like I truthfully like I'll be there if I can, but I know it's best if I'm not there. I don't
Yeah.
like you as a person because I know that you're probably a terrible person. Doesn't
Right.
mean I hate you though.
Right.
Like I said, I still got love for you.
And so that person that you were talking to about that was me. And so whenever we were talking about that, I was trying to tell you, it's like I mean, I get where you're coming from because like obviously, like you said, you don't want to hate nobody, and even if they did you wrong, you don't have no reason to hate nobody. So like, I could see having love for somebody that you don't like in the moment of like only in the moment of thinking of them necessarily or them being the topic of conversation. But for me, I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit like, like I'm a little bit different. Like I take love to be something that's maybe not every day, but you pay attention to it. So it's like if you love somebody, obviously you don't got to talk to them every day. You don't have to be in your life every day, but you pay attention to it. You know what I mean? Like you don't. For me, it's like I don't have love for nobody that I don't pay attention to. So what I'm saying is like if you don't like this person, and what I mean by that is like I have love for like the majority of people, but I'm saying is the people that I have love for, the people that I will be there for, the people that you can call me at any time, the people that it's on that level. Those people I'm paying attention to at all times. You are if I haven't talked to you in 3 weeks, I'm giving you a call. If we go somewhere as a group and you're not able to be there, you're getting a postcard. You're getting a picture saying we wish you were here. It's like I pay attention to those around me that show me that they love me. But what I'm trying to say is that like if you're saying like somebody that you don't like, somebody that you don't want around, like you might have love for them and want the best for them in that moment of thinking of. you don't pay attention to that love. So does it really exist after that moment? You know what I mean?
Cause I mean, there's some people that, like, but even I may think about it often. Like, man, I really like, regardless of whatever's happening, like, I really do.
Because I'm saying, because like there's people that like more like religiously, like people get like, I'll keep them in my prayers even if they did me wrong type shit. That I could see is like, okay, you're praying for them every night, every day. You praying for them every day. Okay, you might have some love for them. You really want the best for them. You are praying for them every day. You're thinking of them every day. Like they are on your mind, even if you're not talking to them. You are paying attention to that person,
I have a couple people.
hopefully getting better. What I'm saying is like got love for those people. But
Fair.
everybody else that you don't like, that you're just like, I hope you do good, but please never enter my life again. I want nothing to do with you, even after you better yourself, type shit. Because you're a piece of shit, in my opinion. Like you might have love for them in that moment, like I hope you do good, like peace, but never contact me again. That's not love. That's like, bro, I hope that's like compassion, really. That's just like, I hope you do good, and I hope that this isn't you. That if we ever cross paths again, because if it is, I can't do anything. I want nothing to do with this, type shit. You know what I mean? That's not really love. That's
Yeah.
just like, I hope you do better, type shit. I don't know. I feel like you said, there is different facets of love, but for me, like something that I guess it changes. I guess your definition of love can be different for each person, but for me, it's something that like carries across to every love that you have, is that like that shit don't die. That shit don't, like, you are, that shit's on your mind, on your table, on your notes, on your phone, on whatever. That shit's somewhere. That shit is not going nowhere. You know what I mean? It's there. Like bro, our friend Malik Farmer moved to Colorado so long ago. Talk to him at least once a week. If it's not just like just a Snapchat or something, then I'll drunkenly FaceTime him, or he'll fucking FaceTime me whenever he gets off of work, or so whatever it is. Like our schedules are fucked because he has like a full-time job. He's trying to get his family to move out there and stuff like that. But basically, like whenever I was in New Orleans with my family, he's like, "Oh, bro, no way, you're out there. I was going out there in 3 weeks. I was gonna call you and tell you to come with me. Fuck." And I was just like, "Fuck." Like I wish it could happen, but like I was just like, I stay in contact with all my people. Like Kenny G's, like I promote him because he stays in more contact than I do with him, because that man is moving around so much. So like every time he gets stationary, he gives everybody a call talking about, this where I'm at. Hope y'all know I'm good. Like that's love. You don't gotta do that. Kenny, you have been in the military for 3, 4 years now. Well,
Four.
obviously four. I almost said 4 or 5, but it's for sure
4.
four. And then you've been out for like 6, 8 months now. And it's just like, Kenny, you've met so many people in that time, but you've taken it upon yourself to like make us still a part of your life. That's love, bro.
Even if
It's love, bro.
you're like, man, it's like the situation, like, oh, why do I put up with y'all? You know what I mean? Like, I do it to myself, but I'm in it for the long haul.
Fuck it, baby.
We're in this. We're gonna keep on going. I think it comes to love. A lot of people don't. They say it, but they don't know what it really.
What they're
means.
saying. They
'Cause
say it like as a salutation. Love you. Have a good night. Like, well, do you?
like really, because I mean, 100%. If I got love for you. If I say I got love for you, that means I promise you, you're in a situation. Because I am a person. I have a lot going on. I work. We work on this a lot. I go. I have to visit my parents, and I go grandparents. My schedule usually during the week, I don't have
It's
that much.
fried.
And guess what? I still make time for pretty much everybody and anybody. You hit me up and say, "Hey, you want to schedule to hang out?" Boom. Sorry. Scheduled it in. I'm gonna make time.
Hey,
Even if
bro.
that day I'm like every day, every minute of that day is taken up because I'm doing something, I'll do it because you matter to me. I'm gonna make that
I've seen
time.
you on some. Yeah, bro. I just got off work, but come over if you want to talk. Like, yeah, fuck it. I don't got nothing else going on. But even if I did, I'd say fuck that too, because it's like you're more important type shit. I've seen you do that shit too. But what I'm saying is like it's beautiful, because it's like once you start making time for shit like that, you understand there's time for everything. There's enough time in a day for you to get all your shit done, all your stuff that you want to do, all the stuff you need to do, and all the shit that you shouldn't have to do, but you do anyways because you're going out of your way for some extra effort. There's time for all of it. You just gotta plan out what you want to do. Be like necessarily like attentive on what you're actually doing. Be aware of where you're at, and you can actually do whatever you want. It's easy. It's not easy to do the task, but it's easy to set up so that you can have the life that you want. as long as you just pay attention and just be aware of where you're at and just assess your situation. Don't live outside of your means. Don't spend money you don't got. But don't worry about money that you don't need.
No, it's weird too. 'Cause a lot of people, speaking bouncing off, you think about money, and everyone's saying, "I need." Don't get me wrong, being financially stable, I think that's important. It's the world we live in.
Right.
Truly do what you want to do. But I think beyond money, if you have that true love in your life with whoever it is, if you have that foundation of love in your life, like truly, I'm not talking about that bullshit love that people are on where they're like, I love you. I mean, like that love test, it really stands the test of time. That's the truest thing, man. No matter what you go through, no matter how many times you may come at each other. I'm not saying like someone beats you and then like, I love you. That's not standing the test of time. You need to get out of that. That's not healthy.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean, is in those situations where the people that are there for you, they show they're there for you, over and over again. Money, nothing. We focus so much on the material things. We're basically, I mean, brainwashed wouldn't be a word you could use. If you look at any ads, you're looking at any commercials, you're looking at anything. It's buy this, get the new this. Oh, the best thing for this. Spend your money on this. Yeah, have all the best stuff in your house.
Right. And
But
it's you could say brainwash is just like it's being adjusted to the society we've all accepted to be normal. Now that this pandemic shit's going on, every normal's going out the window, and shit's getting realized like, damn, maybe everything.
it's not everything I thought it was. And where I'm at is when you really understand what love is, understand that's priority
Yeah.
in life. That love and that compassion, that's priority because everything else is gonna. You can get whatever you want if you have that foundation. Guess what? You can do anything.
Right.
You can do anything with a foundation. Because guess what? Even if like you're building a house, let's say it's not where you want, you could always break that shit down and rebuild because you got that foundation. You always have a starting point. You always have somewhere to come back to. You always have a place to build up from, no
Right.
matter what.
That's true.
With that love in your life, you're good. Like that's like when people always can look at me. Some people say, "Oh, but like we had this conversation. Oh, but they're an engineer." About like trying to compare something. I was like, "What does that mean to me?" I was like, people could be like, "Oh, they have more money or they have a nicer this." I'm like, I have everything that matters.
I have everything that I could ever need and more. What are you saying to me? That
That
I don't have a job title or a bank account that's similar to someone else's? I mean, I don't want to be compared to someone else that has a job title and a bank account unless that someone else also has people that give a fuck about them in their life. And like if they do have people that give a fuck about them, then please compare me to them. That sounds like a great comparison. Like,
if I'm getting compared to
I'll
anybody, I
take
want them to
great.
be like, "Oh, this guy he doesn't have much, but man, he lives like he's the richest person in the world. He's just so happy,
He's the
so
richest
cool."
guy I know, but he has no money.
I'll take that. I'll take that. Thank you. It's like, because what happens when I get all the money? I
Or
have nobody.
where I'm at is like
There's nothing.
I've learned that in my life at least it's like making money is like money's basically if you have the will to work for it, it's not like an impossible task to achieve. It's just whenever you start adding responsibilities and things like that into your financial stability, like question, then you might be able to stress about, oh, but I won't have enough to pay for this, and I won't have enough to pay for that, and I won't have enough to pay for that. But it's like, well, one of those things is probably food, and there's people out here growing their own food, so you could be one of those people and never have to pay for food again. That's number one. Two, probably transportation. There's a whole livelihood that's been made off of walking, taking bikes, public transportation, things like that. Owning a car is almost inconsequential at this point. Then you talk about kids. Well, I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't mean to sound insensitive, but not just ma'am, sir too. Don't mean to sound insensitive, but whoever you are, you have a child that is a financial like a hindrance on your financial stability. Let's understand, children only come from one place. Mm. Nobody told you to have that kid.
But there are others.
Okay, there are other
Yeah, there
circumstances for
are those.
sure. What I'm talking about is generalities. I'm talking about for in general sakes. There's for sure exceptions to the rule. What I'm talking about is necessarily like if you had a kid and then say like, I can't do this or I can't pay for that because I
No,
had a
you like
kid.
you made your
You
own
made your
decision. You made your bed type of thing.
like obviously there's certain situations like whenever like if a woman was to get raped and then get pregnant and then have like a conscious decision of whether to keep the baby or not. I'm not talking about that. That is not something that I'm talking about. That's obviously like an emergency situation where obviously in that situation I would either want the person that raped her to be either killed because rape is not okay, or every cent he's ever made and every cent that he will ever make is to her and to that baby. He gets none of it. He could spend his life in jail working it off, and every cent that he makes for the jail goes straight to her. That's where I'm at. Set that up. I'm cool with that. I'll sign the bill. Because like fuck people that think rape is okay, for sure. Fuck that. And also like it's extremely horrible that women get put in situations where they are responsible for someone else's like not just like cruel in like intention and act, but also
Don't blame the victim.
negligence to that baby. That
Never blame the victim.
for sure. I'm not blaming the victim. That's
No,
what I'm
I'm
saying.
saying like that's what you're saying.
No, that right. That's what I'm saying. So like in that situation, of course. But what I'm saying is if you decided to have a kid, or if you went and picked up a dog from the shelter, and now you're saying, man, I gotta get all these shots for this dog. It's like, bro, who told you to go get a dog? I mean, like I understand like emotional like support. You need an animal, cool, but like you weren't financially stable for this. Why are you doing this?
Or if you do understand, you will be financially unstable. Like, you got to step up.
You got to step up and don't blame anybody else. Don't blame the dog. Like, how dare you make me have to work harder so I can get more money to feed you? It's like I didn't ask for this. Same thing with the kid. It's like if a parent's stressing out over money, but the parent had the kid willingly, it's like, well, that's not the kid's fault. Don't treat the kid like it's their fault. Don't. And I'm not saying people are. What I'm saying is don't neglect the kid because I gotta work. Oh, I gotta work. Oh, I gotta work. In your mind, I got to work to put food on the table, but it's also like you could have only had to feed one mouth. You decided to put more mouths on the table. That if you should care more about the mouse on the table than the fucking work, you should talk to your work. Be like, yo, I need one extra day off. I will put like more hours in on the other 5 days type shit, but I need a whole day where my kids can see me every week and they get daddy time. That's what I want. If y'all can't work with me, then bed. Do you have my resume still? Because I'm gonna need you to send that to every company in this. Fuck y'all. My kids are always gonna be most important. I don't have kids yet, but whenever if I ever do have children, they will always be more important than anything else. It's there's like, what are you having children for at that point? So you can make other things a higher priority than them.
They didn't ask to
That's
be brought into the
fucked.
world.
That's fuck. I mean, maybe after your kid turns 18, you can say I've done the best that I can. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've done what I can type shit. And if they're like that much of an asshole, like of course, like do whatever you want at that point. You've provided, okay? Cool. But what I'm saying is that I guarantee you not raising an asshole if you pay attention to your kids.
Really take the time to child, not just
And
try to talk at them, listen, really be there. That goes into the love and compassion right there.
right, for sure.
Really.
It's like whenever you take loving your job or loving your career or loving your other priorities more important than loving your family, it's like, what are you doing? What are you living for? You can be the CEO of fucking Shell Oil. Like, who the fuck are you? Who cares about that?
Feel. They put that more pride into they do their own families, and
I understand taking pride in your work. I don't understand taking pride out of your family.
100%. Like a lot of people, in the world we live in, a lot of people lose sight of literally humanity is okay. This person or this person. Rather, it's what is my status? What do I have?
Right.
And what I mean is, I don't know. To me, status and power only can get you so much. You know what I mean? You're never gonna be truthfully happy. I want more and more and more. It's like, okay, like, are you ever like? Are you okay? Like, you
Right.
want more? Like, I get it. You're not satisfied. Are you like
Where
something mentally is going on there? Are you okay?
where I'm at is I can understand like the grind harder mentality, like you can sleep when you die type shit, but like I can't understand like if you're grinding harder for like just selfish reasons, like what are you grinding for? You know what I mean? It's like if you're grinding so you can take care of your community, take care of your family, take care of other people, keep grinding, bro. But if you're grinding just so you can see that bank account keep rising and just be like, yeah, bro, fucking rich. Yeah, dude, fuck with me. I can buy a boat. Cool.
I
Have
get.
fun on your boat.
I
But
mean, I
like,
would. A boat would be nice,
a
but
boat would be nice. But look, what I'm at is like, have fun on your boat. But I still don't give a shit. Like, bye. Have a good time.
it's like it's not that important. I mean, it's a boat. You know what I
Just a
mean?
boat. I mean, it's
Whatever
just a material item, is what I'm saying. It's great.
is moments that you have with around you are priceless. And I mean, it's gonna take a lot. I mean, not
I feel
everyone's
like
gonna.
people have lost the idea of what something being priceless actually is. People have like just gotten so used to like putting a price on things. Like what's like the best like what's like for example like what's the best like designer clothes I could have right now? You know what I mean? And it's like honestly like and there was a video of like a dude trying to chop on like a homeless man. I forgot where it was at. Where he
I
was
saw
like
it.
where he said I feel like he was like, "Is that the same shirt you had on the other day?" He said, "Man, why you worried about it? That's for me and God's business. God gave me these clothes. I'm homeless, man. I can't take a shower. You can take a shower every night, huh? Change your clothes every day, huh? You better be grateful for what God gave you. God gave me another day on this earth. That's what I'm grateful for. What I need a shower and another shirt for? I'm still alive, ain't I?" And it's like people don't think like that. People just don't think like that. It's just like you rather be like, homie got the same shirt on. Let me put him on blast. Get my camera out. Instead of being like, yo, what's up, sir? Like, can I buy you a water? Let me buy you a shirt.
I got clothes right here.
Let me buy you a shirt.
I'll give you the clothes, right? I got clothes right here.
Where I'm at is like, I'm not saying go out of your way and help everybody that you could ever. Don't fuck yourself up financially trying to help the world. But what I am saying is that I know places that have $10 a month gym memberships. You want to care about somebody, go find a homeless person, be like, look, hey, I'm gonna pay for your gym membership. You gonna get back in shape, have a shower every day, and I'll even give you a couple pairs of clothes that you can fucking go work out in. What's up? I want to see you do better. That's $10 a month, son. That's coming out your pocket real bad. No, it's just $10 to you, right? But you could do that, and people don't. And that's what I'm saying is like people would rather just like ha 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 ha.
Or
And,
what can I do?
or what could I really do? It's like you could change a whole life. That's what you could really do.
Knows what that person will end
Who
up
that
being.
person actually was, who that person could be. You could be the person that gets them back on track, but you decided to be the person to put them down and make them feel worse about their position.
I'm sure anyone who's seen Pursuit of Happiness loves that movie.
Great movie.
Will Smith, come on now.
Great movie.
But when it comes to real life, then it's like it's the same situation on social media. Everyone, mental health's important.
Right.
Don't video homeless people, or we should really come together. And then it's real life, and then like where was all that? Where's all that caring about the mental? I swear I saw you post something, but now you being real rude right now. You're not caring about nobody.
Don't give a shit.
Where's all that now?
Don't give a shit.
Like, oh, you were just saying that 'cause you want to feel like you're caring. You're not really caring. You just want to act like you care about.
You just want to look like you're caring.
Like,
that's cool.
no, it's not.
I mean,
not cool.
What I mean by that is like that's cool, like for you to think that, like go ahead, like that's cool, but don't expect nobody to respect you. Don't expect nobody to help you out. Don't expect nothing. You're gonna be that person. You're gonna be that person. It's like the people going to charity, like not even just charity. The people going to the protest just to take a picture, get back in the car. What the fuck is wrong with you?
People making TikToks.
Those people should get slapped. Like
both of them.
I promote. Look, obviously this is a joke, but I was actually I shouldn't even say. I was gonna say I promote violence on people that go in the protest just to take pictures and get back in the car. But I will not promote violence. That was a joke. But still, those people be pissing me off. I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, why did anybody taking a picture at a protest is just like, but you better have been there for 4 hours before this picture was taken. It's like, what are you trying to do here? Unless it's like, hey, we at the protest right now. Pull up. Where y'all at? I want to see y'all here. I'm gonna be here all day. That's the post I want to see, not the oh my god, look at these fucking look at how crazy shit's going out here. No way, fucking all lives matter. It's just like, bro, why are you out there? Why? Why are you out there? You have no reason to be out there. That's not your movement. If your movement is, hey, I got to do this for social media, then you should not be showing up.
A little bit of a different about when you said that the priceless moments that you feel like they're kind of lost in a way.
They're fleeting.
It was weird because it's funny because I've talked about this a lot because it just really baffles me. Uh, for anyone who doesn't know us and maybe you just randomly tuned in, we live near Galveston, and Galveston waters are terrible. They are not the prettiest sight to see. And getting in the water is not really
Not the
like
bee's knees.
not the best. But what I will say is I do love the beach, and I go anytime I can or anyone wants to go. Watching the sunsets out there, sitting out there, it's awesome. Just being by the water, having the availability to go to the beach whenever. 30-minute drive. That's not anything to be able to go to the beach. Some people don't have the beach. Some people don't have a beach at all, or
Right.
have like a man-made beach. We have a not like a decent enough beach to go, and Galveston isn't the worst place. I don't mind it. And I talk to a lot of people, and I'm, we should go to the beach at night sometimes. What's there to do at the beach at night?
Hang out.
Like, what is you need? What?
We have to provide activities,
Like,
food, and beverages. Like, is this? I'm sorry, I wasn't inviting you to a fucking event. I just wanted to go hang out on the beach. If you're not down, please say so.
and I know if you're one of the people that have had a conversation watching this, I only partially apologize because it's bro.
Only
me,
partially.
I'm just sitting here like, come on, man.
It's the beach.
Bro. I mean, I understand it's not for everybody. Like, sand gets in stuff. It's about enjoying just a moment, enjoying nature for what, enjoying little things, being just with somebody. You know what I mean? And just being able to listen maybe to the waves crashing, or look at the moon. You know what I mean? In essence of watching the sun, or if you're there late enough because it's such a good time watching the sun rise.
Real shit.
You know what I mean? It's things. I think people really miss those, and they're really fleeting because people are always looking for something else, looking for someone else, looking other things and things to just happen. I need activity, exciting. Enjoy your time. Enjoy the moments you have with people.
Right.
Have a little love for the things. Have love for life. You know what I mean? Having love for life is
Like,
it really is the little thing. It's
just
like
having appreciation. It's like it's better to have and not need than need and not have when it comes to a beach. But how much do you appreciate that having? You know what I mean?
like when you really take that time to really love life, it's really just taking, like, you walk outside, you just take a breath. You're like, I'm
think I
not in
said
the
that
best position right now. Life's a little tough, and I'm going through it, but thankful, grateful. You know what I mean? Maybe I have, you get so used to certain people in your life, you don't really take that time. You're like, man, I really thankful for these people in my life right now. You know what I mean? Like, they
Right.
really get me through these situations. Or
Yeah.
it's like taking a long drive. You hate the drive, but it's just like maybe being to yourself, listening to music. Maybe you're with somebody. It's just that talk y'all have. You know what
It's
I
not
mean?
the act of driving that you're paying attention to anymore because you're enjoying yourself.
Exactly. Just appreciating those little moments you might not get. And then
Right.
sometimes there's moments you might not ever experience ever again. Might miss it. Think back. I should have appreciated it more.
Yeah.
Don't have those moments.
It's true.
The little things. Enjoy the little things. Have some love for what you do. Have some passion for what you do. Stop trying to look for other things or look at other people, or stop trying to. It was funniest to me too. When it comes to people who are not worrying about other people,
Mm-hmm.
those are the people who really be worrying about people the most.
Right. The
Because
people.
they're trying to flex on people, or they're trying to act like they got this and they got that, or like, I got status, but I don't really care about anybody. What are you caring about everybody
And
for?
what does your status mean?
Like, at
And,
that
and
point,
why are you trying to prove it to me?
that's where I'm at. It's like you're trying to prove a point, but at the same time, you're like, I don't care about nobody. But you do.
But you're showing me continuously that it's all you care about.
And it's like there are people who they try to show something like, I don't care. It's like, yeah, but I saw it. I saw it. I don't, that doesn't impress me. Like, oh, whatever. Are you helping me? Are you helping anybody around me? Are you helping anybody in general? What are you just doing that just to prove? You trying to prove something to me
Right.
or to anybody?
Deciding to
It's like so
talk
you
to talk to be heard.
people care about what other people think, but they don't care enough to like help others. So it's just a weird thing to me. It's like you're a weirdo, in my opinion, if you don't care enough to help or care enough to be a compassionate or loving person, but you care enough to try to flex, you care enough to try to like I'm somebody. You really caring, like
Right.
you caring, you putting so much energy into what?
We all have to do a little bit better of going outside of our jurisdiction when emotionally available. Like if you're not willing to help anybody that's not like immediately right like in your circle, that kind of shows you a little bit more about yourself than any.
Some of the most successful people I know, or some of the most loving and helping people that I know, literally just keep to themselves.
Yeah.
They just handle business. They're not flexing on anybody. And then some of the like some people that I know that are like they're not even there yet. You know what I mean? Are they like they've done like they're somewhat somewhere in their life
Mm-hmm.
doing all this,
Right.
doing all this, and it to me I'm just thinking
Letting that mouth fly.
I'm like it's right like it's the same. We all got the same 24 hours. Like this person over here, literally helping who they can when they can, and they're doing great for themselves. They're not trying to prove nothing,
Right.
and they're doing more than you are. Trying to prove everything.
Right.
You're not doing shit.
Like
Like what is this?
I don't know. It's like that's that actions speak louder than words. It's like the loudest person in the room is often he who has the most to hide.
A person.
Well, you're not the loudest person in the room.
That's probably true. But I am pretty loud. Just to be fair.
What I'm trying to say is that you often he who has something to hide will often be heard. So that like basically it's like kind of like a kind of like a the idea of like the person who like kills somebody returning to the crime scene type shit. Like let me just make sure like ain't nobody's like knows what's going on type shit. So let me just
Who could have done this?
let me just keep like basically so what I'm talking about is just let me just keep talking and maybe nobody will talk about whatever I got going. Maybe nobody will notice. I just keep like keep throwing shit at them, throwing things that I think they care about, even though I know they don't, or even if I don't know that they for sure just haven't shown me that they give a shit. But I'm gonna keep oversaturating their life with my bullshit so that they don't actually question anything that I got going, because I don't want to do that shit. That shit.
Like the people who talk that to me the most. I'm the first. What's like thing going on? Like I'm gonna ask you questions. We're getting to the bottom of this, bud.
Fascinating is like I don't know. It's like what's weird is that like people can be so like opinionated and have like so, like get offended by certain like things that you say, but have no ability to challenge you or defend their opinion whatsoever. Like they've never been meant like not like that,
I know
but
what you mean. I know.
challenged mentally. Sorry, but I mean this is like if you have an idea and you're so set on that idea being right, like basically is like scientists are basically not trying to prove other people wrong. They're trying to prove themselves wrong. Sometimes that's what their work is. Trying to make sure, fuck, can I be proven wrong? No, I got to make sure that this shit is correct. I can't be proven wrong. So I'm gonna make sure if I'm my own worst critic type shit.
Don't know also, but if you ever come in contact with Josh, I'm not saying he knows everything, but you better know everything that you're talking about, or else he's gonna tear your argument apart just for the sake of doing it, not necessarily 'cause he really cares about the topic, but he just wants to know if you know what you're talking about.
That's me. So like basically it's like a mini game and like so if the life is like the game that you buy, one of the little mini games in that game of life for me is just challenging people. And I don't like challenging people in the way that like I'm challenging you because I think I'm better than you. I just it's just fun to see people like cuz it's just the majority time than not it's a topic that I don't know shit about but I can hold a conversation enough just to see if you know shit about. Because like, if it's something I'm really legitimately interested in, I want to learn. I want to know. But if you seem extremely opinionated on it, that usually means you don't know what you're talking about. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I get taught some shit that I probably should have known. But it's beautiful whenever you see somebody like, what do you mean by that? And all I asked them was like, well, I mean, like, what makes you feel like that? And they're just like, well, what do you mean? I'm just like, I mean, you just told me something that was completely opinionated about a topic that I don't really know much about, but like, why do you feel like that? Like, what makes you feel like that? And my favorite answer is, oh, science, bro. So I'm like, oh, so you can quote the article? What? Science? You can't just use that as a fucking excuse. You can't just say, I've done my research. I've done my research. It's like, oh, you have. So you know what you're talking about, actually, since you did research on it. So come on, break it down. I want to know. What are we talking about here, baby? What's going on? It's just funny because it's like it's so quick whenever like somebody it's so quick for people to be like, fuck, I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me just lie out of this situation. Just like, actually, I did my science research on this, so you should just believe what I have to say.
I did the research. I am the scientist. Take my word for it. Yeah, no, but I think I'm good.
And just like, I don't know. It's like, for me, it's like when people try to bring an argument without basis, without functionality, without anything, I'm just like, I don't know what you want me to do with this. I like arguing, but you don't have a good but you don't have a good argument.
Hardly. People love to talk and just love to be heard. People are really, I mean, I am at times too. It's about themselves. All
Yeah.
about me.
I mean, and potentially what I just said makes me an asshole, but also I take joy in it, so fuck you.
To each their own. You know, it's weird too. Is when people like that are so caught up in themselves. I think when people like that finally learn, like they like realize something about themselves, they start to get upset.
Yeah. I don't know how to deal
You
with
don't
it.
tell me about me.
Yeah.
I was asking questions. You're telling me everything I need to know. Honestly, I'm not
Yeah.
telling you. You're speaking all of it.
Yeah. And like when people tell
telling
me,
me
Josh, you just love being right. I'm like, no, I just love arguing. I mean, often I'm able to argue to a position where you might think I'm right, but I still might not know what I'm talking about. This is just fun.
I think we're gonna wrap it up on that note. I'd like to just a couple things though.
Wait.
What's
What's in the box?
Oh, we do. We're doing a giveaway each time. This time's not gonna necessarily be the best giveaway, but it's a giveaway, all right. And each time we'll pick a random person. We have a randomizer, and even if you don't watch the podcast, you're gonna get a message, and your message is saying, "Hey,
Where do I send
where do
this
I
gift?
send this gift to?" So you better start watching. So, right now we're doing a giveaway. You get 2 bubbles. Bubbles themselves aren't colored. It's just the outside, so don't get excited. But the outside
We have an orange and a pink one.
is pink. I think it kind of looks purplish. I'm not the best at colors.
So what you would usually use these for is to blow very large bubbles.
Hold on. Yeah, for all those listening and not watching, I'm blowing a bubble right.
He's blowing a fat bubble.
Oh,
Fat bubbles!
Oh, that guy on the computer. Probably not the best.
Oh, no.
Right. Well, that's what that does.
It blows bubbles.
Fun for a lot of different
occasions and activities.
Occasions.
Fun for all ages.
All right. That's our giveaway.
Well,
stay tuned.
Yes.
If you're the lucky winner, congratulations. You won bubbles. All right. Yeah. But what I'd like to say before we close out here, you're a giver. You have a big heart. Continue to give, but also beware of those people who are just going to take. Because there's a lot of people who take for granted good people in life. And if you have a big heart, continue to do you. And if you need someone to reach out to, please reach out to us. If you just need someone to talk to, get something off your chest, more than willing to listen. Keep that love in your heart. Keep pushing. We need that in the world. Now more than ever, we all need to come together, and we need that love and compassion. And I think there's a lot of people who try to tear that down, but keep being that person. Also, you're not alone, everybody. If you're going through something, trust me, a lot of us are going through things right now, and I know it may be tougher for some more than others, and there's probably some people really, really going through it. So if you can be a open ear or you can lend a helping hand, please do so. There's people really, really going through some tough times right now. If you're one of those people going through tough times, I'm here for you. You know, I need some support. Once again, please reach. It's been great. You know, I thank you so much for everyone listening. Josh, do you have anything you might want to say before we close out here?
I want to say thank you guys for returning to us. Been a 4 or 5 month hiatus since our last episode was released. A lot of shit has happened, but as you guys know, this is a passion project of ours, and everyone who pays attention and listens is just thank you. Love to you guys. Because you guys make this possible. Because we love doing this. We don't get all the opportunity in the world to do what we love doing. But when we're in here, it's always beautiful.
I agree. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. Until next time, friends.